I've honestly had a lot of fun with the EX8 set review videos, spelling out quite the adventure starting with the dinosaurs before they were potentially taken out by a bunch of rocks. But if that didn't do anything, the Ice Age definitely did, and the Ice Snow Digimon were born. But once the ice was melted, the sea levels rose and there were the Deep Sabers. And from the oceans emerged a new evil in the form of nightmare soldiers. But not all the creatures developed into evil, as nature always finds a way. Today's video is going to go over the Nature Spirits Digimon. Motimon makes its grand return as a level 2 with a your turn once per turn effect, in which when any of your other Nature Spirit traits Digimon are played, if this Digimon has the Nature Spirit trait, it may attack. Because of Eldradimon's effect, I believe you play the Digimon by its when Digivolving effect, Motimon's effect triggers, you attack, and then assuming Eldradimon survives the check, you end of turn DNA. A shame though that this egg isn't as useful with insectoid-based decks, but at least BT15 Motimon already fulfills that role. Tentomon fulfills the role of the searcher of the deck, adding one insectoid trait Digimon and one Nature Spirits trait card before bottom decking the rest. In a pure Nature Spirit deck, you have a chance to net a card, but in insectoids, it's a lot less likely as there are better insects to run in the top end. Kabuterimon seems super basic, and has an on-play and when Digivolving effect that suspends one Digimon. Its inheritable is a simple plus 2000 DP buff, and while it does meet the criteria for the Nature Spirits trait, in an insectoid deck, it just feels unnecessary as there are better options. Megakabuterimon is an interesting Digimon that can Digivolve from any green level 4 or 3 from any Nature Spirit trait Digimon for a cost of 3. This Digimon has Fortitude, and an all turns effect that while this Digimon is suspended, it gets plus 3000 DP. Its inheritable lets you trash the top security when you delete an opponent's Digimon in battle. But I just like the other level 5s from BT15, and even the promo Megakabuterimon more because of its protection. Being big can only go so far. And the level 6 of course goes to herculeskabuterimon Ace. This new level 6 Ace Digimon has a play cost of 6, and for good reasons. From a standpoint, when a card has a cheaper cost, there's always a drawback. On play and when Digivolving, you may suspend up to 3 Digimon. For each of your opponent's Digimon suspended by this effect, you gain 1 memory. All turns when this Digimon becomes suspended, one of your Digimon gains piercing and gets plus 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. To break this down, this feels like a poor man's version of Metal Garurumon Ace. The memory gain is nice, but ultimately from a standpoint of design at this point, when a Digimon has removal built into it, that's what gives the Ace Digimon the most bang for your buck. While true, this can get really big through your opponent's turn, I strongly prefer protection while suspended from other versions of herculeskabuterimon. With Nature Spirits, this is the last field option that is similar to Deep Sabers and Nightmare Soldiers. The difference is, its security effect gives all of your Nature Spirits trait Digimon Alliance, and you play a level 5 or lower Nature Spirits trait Digimon from your hand without paying the cost when it's hit in security. But in regards to the deck list, this video will be a little different because I'll be looking at not 1, but 2 deck profiles. Starting with the Insectoid deck, what cards do you overall grab from this for the deck? Personally, you could run this deck with something like this, but honestly, I do not like a lot of the Nature Spirit line cards for Insectoid because there are just better options. What I'd honestly run would look more something like this, and even then, Tentomon could be easily replaced with Terriermon. Because not a lot of cards are used from EX8 for this particular deck profile, I'm honestly not going to go into too much detail. Because honestly, you added 2 copies of EX8 Tentomon for searching. That's it. The deck focuses on having some protection with the Evade megakabuterimon, and since the format has been widely popular with tamers, the Grand Kuwagamon Ace is definitely an MVP. Scrambles add an additional benefit of bringing back any green card you may need that you can use later. But the rest of the deck is pretty self-explanatory. When you look at Nature Spirits on the other hand, there are quite a few cards in the recommended deck profiles on DigimonMeta.com that utilize cards here. Even more so, with cards that we haven't even covered yet with medievalgallantmon. And since Liberators has shown us that medievalgallantmon doesn't Digivolve from Guilmon, frankly, I'm going to go ahead and cover the card here as well. Medievalgallantmon is one of the secret rares for this set, and is a level 6 Digimon that Digivolves from a red or green card for a cost of 3. When you would play this card, by suspending 2 Digimon, reduce the play cost by 4. This Digimon has Alliance, Vortex, and a when Digivolving effect where you may suspend 1 Digimon. Then you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8000 DP or less. For each other suspended Digimon, you add 3000 DP to the DP deletion's maximum effect. All turns, once per turn when Digimon are played, you may activate one of this Digimon's when Digivolving effect. Meaning if you play this Digimon yourself, you also get to trigger the when Digivolving effect. This is going to be one of the more obnoxious cards of the set, considering it counters to a degree other Digimon that may be played, like Demon Lords for example. Of course, to tackle the Demon Lord problem, you would also need to have 2 suspended Digimon in play. So now with the last Digimon out of the way, let's look briefly at a Nature Spirit deck core. With your eggs, of course you're going to use Motimon as the primary. While you could use eggs like Wanyamon for the card draw, the Motimon is superior for the combat tricks you could be doing at end of turn. Otamamon is arguably the best floodgate here since it's also a Nature Spirits trait Digimon. And because of this, you can stop a lot of playcost reduction decks that currently exist. Gatsumon is a small blocker, but also provides inheritable reboot, while Tentomon adds searchability including itself and any other Digimon minus the medieval Gallantmons. For a flexible lineup of the level 4s, you run in essence 2 of every level 4 that currently exists to maximize each color's ability. Geckomon, for example, provides inheritable jamming, Starmon, inheritable barrier, Monochromon, inheritable piercing, Tortomon for inheritable reboot, and Kabuterimon for inheritable DP buffs. You have a wide arsenal of effects to utilize here, so why not have all your options available at your fingertips? Level 5s, Shogun Geckomon can prevent your opponent's Digimon or Tamers from suspending until the end of their turn, and it also prevents your Digimon with Nature Spirits traits from having their attack target changed. Triceramon can suspend an opponent's Digimon and prevent it from unsuspending, while also providing that trashing inheritable for security, while Jagamon provides the Digivolve on your opponent's turn and gifting blocker. And while megakabuterimon would have been nice here, frankly it's only providing DP buffs while it's suspended and has the same inheritable as Triceramon. While you could run it over Triceramon, at least Triceramon could be played to suspend a target. Interestingly, for level 6s, I honestly really like SaberLeomon Ace more than herculeskabuterimon Ace. But ultimately this goes more for the fact that SaberLeomon Ace has more removal potential than herculeskabuterimon. By dealing minus 8000 DP to 2 of your opponent's Digimon, that clears most level 5s. And while herculeskabuterimon Ace gains memory, it's a board dependent state for the memory, though the piercing is kind of nice. Eldraudimon is definitely a mandatory 4 of, because of its when Digivolving effect, that can play out level 5s and set up aces for the following turn. But this is also what allows you to climb up to the boss monster, Hackmon. The last level 6 of course is a splash at 2 copies with medieval Gallantmon. Hackmon of course is run at 4 copies and can DNA from that black Eldraudimon with a green or yellow level 6, meaning SaberLeomon Ace and herculeskabuterimon Ace are viable cards to go for. This card reviewing over again can play 1 play cost 7 or lower Nature Spirits trait Digimon from your hand without paying the cost. Another SaberLeomon Ace means more board damage. herculeskabuterimon must suspend in order to gain memory. Luckily, if you DNA, you get to play 2 Digimon instead. Again, with the West looking more at board states that can constantly be in flux, this is why I prefer SaberLeomon Ace to herculeskabuterimon Ace for the removal aspect. In addition, when this Digimon digivolves and when it attacks, you minus 7000 DP one of your opponent's Digimon for the turn for each of your Digimon. Clear, board, removal. Because of the numerous colors in this deck, this is probably one of the few decks that will see the Nature Spirits run at more than 2 copies. And another commonality between most of the decks from Japan is that they run 2 Tamers. One of which is BT1 Mimi Tachikawa for the extra promote, and the other is Davis Motomiya for the search. Overall, Nature Spirits gets more tools for its deck than insectoid-based decks. But which do you prefer, and why? Let me know your thoughts as the set review winds down to everyone's favorites, the X-Antibody cards. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.